How is Jason Wilcox going to implement a new Manchester United identity? Will he be able to? Is he going to do it on his own? I'm going to answer everything in this video. Yesterday, I ran through an objective video, took my opinion out of it. These are the reasons you could argue for Erik ten Hag to stay. These are the reasons you could argue for Erik ten Hag to be sacked. And in this video, I'm going to run through the plans of Wilcox, the game model that he's looking to introduce at Manchester United, and whether or not Erik ten Hag's going to fit in it. I think we'll know that very, very soon. If you can, just take 1 second, ladies and gents, please do drop a like on the video. I say it every video, but it makes such a difference to the channel. And it's free, so please do it. But look, this man, Jason Wilcox, we were working, we first started working on a deal in February, and it took until Friday for him to come in. Then he went to Wembley on Sunday. He's now met Erik ten Hag, and he's beginning his audit. You know, in the same way that Dave Brailsford's been doing an audit overall of Manchester United, he's been looking at all the top line numbers and figures, and credit cards are being cancelled. Dave Brailsford can't do that at a football depth level. And that's what Jason Wilcox is now doing before, as you see, before Manchester United make any final decision on his future. This has been a big delay. If Ashworth came in earlier or Wilcox came in earlier, maybe a decision would have already been made. But it hasn't because of that. And now, look, United have tasked Wilcox with providing a detailed assessment of his strengths and weaknesses, relationship with the squad to better determine whether his approach can fit with the overarching style of play and the so-called game model that Wilcox is going to bring in, which I will speak about in a little bit. Erik ten Hag spoke about Jason Wilcox in his press conference today, said very close, we have to form a partnership. You know, in the same way that ten Hag had a partnership with Mark Overmars at Ajax. This is pretty much how he's envisaging that. But this is where it gets interesting, because what is Jason Wilcox actually going to do? How does Jason Wilcox come in and bring this identity? We all thought we were getting an identity with Erik ten Hag. It's still not there. So how is it that Jason Wilcox is going to change that? Now, this idea there's something I want to focus on to start with, right? The zombie squad. No, it does not mean an undead squad. It means a squad made up of players signed by 4 different managers and the academy. Erik ten Hag's got about 11. I think he's got 11 players down there, plus the academy players. So still half of the squad is signed by other managers. Now, a squad, to get to the level of squad that Man City have got, it takes like 3-4 seasons of just banging transfer windows, one after the other, hit. And that's how you build your squad. And when it comes to that point there, about a zombie squad of different managers and different styles, it kind of leads into what is being suggested here. And the Telegraph have used Julian Nagelsmann as an example, saying that sometimes he uses, plays in a back 3, plays with wing backs, and that doesn't really go towards maybe what this current squad is built for. In other words, United cannot swing wildly from one system to another just to fit a coach. They must settle on a way of playing they believe can deliver winning, attacking, entertaining football, and then ensure the coach chimes firmly with that. Oh, wow. Brand new news. Wow. I never thought of that before. This is something that Manchester United, I thought we were getting with Erik ten Hag. I thought that João Murto was working towards. I thought that's why we had Rangnick and ten Hag for the first time. I was like, I can see a bit of progression here. I can see a manager following a manager going, well, that's not just a huge U-turn and a handbrake. Yeah, it's not quite worked out. But can Jason Wilcox really implement that? This point here, I think, is quite important. At City, the start of play is immediately apparent whether you're watching the under-10s or the first team. United want the same thing. And I'll be honest, if you watch our under-18s this season, Adam Lawrence has done a wonderful job. They're in the under-18s Premier League Cup final tonight against City. They've already won the Premier League North, and maybe they'll win the National Championship. But you know what I see in this under-18s? I'm not saying this is because of Erik ten Hag, but I see a lot of what I expected to see from Erik ten Hag and Manchester United. The high press, the collective press, the higher line, the switches of play, the confident in possession, playing it out from the back. That's what I expected to see from Erik ten Hag. Now, last season we saw parts of it, and we were like, man, there are other parts that didn't quite work as well. This season, yeah, pretty much everything's just not worked. The 3-1-6 system that we saw a couple of times last season, that was ultimately what Erik was working towards, but that position there has absolutely killed Manchester United this season. What is going on here? Why isn't that working? There. That position there. And the space in behind, the rest defence, we know the rest defence is the biggest problem at Manchester United. Has been all season. Has been under Erik ten Hag, and it kind of was at Ajax too. But the reason I'm speaking about all of this is I've seen fleeting... It is fleeting this season. I'll be completely honest, hands in the air. Probably Wolves away. First 45 minutes. When we actually started playing with a bit more composure and we slowed it down. And we should have been like 4-0 up before half-time. Spurs away towards the start of the season, first half. It was more explosive, but it was still that. And it got me thinking. So I wrote down a few things, right? What should Manchester United's modern style of play be? And this is kind of what I came up with, right? Playing out from the back, an ability to bait the press. That's the important part there. Invite the opposition towards you. Tuck a pass around the corner. Nice. Get past it. Beat the first press. Real width. I think that's quite important. Genuine wide creators. Manchester United right now with Garnacho and Rashford and Anthony. Everyone tucks inside. Makes it easier because a defence can stay narrow. Get that width back at United. Patient build-up through controlled possession. Again, that's what I expected Manchester United to have under Erik ten Hag. And this one here is so important for me. Because United, you need to have the ability to transition fast. Go from defence to attack rapidly. But it should be seen as a weapon, not a default style of play, which is what it's become this year. And that's why it's become a problem. Fast, counter-attacking, transitional play is a big part of Manchester United, but it shouldn't be the only part of Manchester United, which is what it has become this year. Playing with a high press, playing with a high defensive line. These are all aspects that I expected to see under Erik ten Hag. And if I'm being completely honest, if I was to write down what would be the game model that I would want Manchester United to work towards, a lot of the characteristics I've written here are the characteristics I still think that Erik ten Hag wants Manchester United to have. But I don't know whether he's just got lost this year amidst the chaos, and the chaos is just consumed. But before Man United decide on a game model, before Manchester United decide on a new manager, Jason Wilcox is being tasked with figuring out whether Erik ten Hag's problems this season are simply down to the injuries or whether there's deeper problems. He's fallen out with players. They're not listening to his instructions. And as a manager, his future is therefore untenable. And if that's the case, then you look towards, okay, what's our game model going to be? And these are some points that I put down. Wilcox and Ineos, they might disagree with those. But once you've then got that game model down, then you look towards finding the manager to fit that. And then you recruit players to fit that model, not what the manager is, which is a problem that has created that zombie squad at Manchester United, a problem that's haunted us for so long. And this is a problem that Jason Wilcox is in charge of sorting. Now, it may well be that Jason Wilcox is more the hands-on man, that Dan Ashworth, seeing himself as the centre of the wheel, he's just making sure everybody else can do their job properly. Whereas it's Jason Wilcox who is going to be, I suppose, getting his hands dirty. And then Omar Morata overseeing the overall vision of the football club, including multi-club models and stuff like that. Very interesting. Things are starting to move. It all got a little bit clogged up because we didn't have Wilcox at Carrington or Ashworth at Carrington. He's there now. The audit of Ten Hag's overall model, I suppose, at Manchester United and his position as manager, we're going to get a conclusion. And what this new game model is and whether or not Erik ten Hag fits very much depends on the outcome of that audit.